Yellow, 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 yellow. It is Tuga Tuesday nights, round
It's Tuesday.
24 of the Primera Liga. We're 10 laps to go, 10 laps away from the finish line. And things are going crazy, things are going wild, things are going not the way you're supposed to be going, but it's still going some way somehow they figure a way to keep winning, even though they're not convincing anyone. They're not convincing anyone with these victories, shaky victories, wrong victories. But in the end, when you go to sleep at night, you take it 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, and that's what it matters at this point of the race. That's what it matters at this point of the race. It might not be the most spectacular way to win. No, 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 no. But you're still getting the 3 points. You're still getting the 3 points. And on top of that, right? You got the your competitors, the Dragons coming after you, catching up on you, coming after you. And hey, this is we're getting into this segment of the race, right? Where we're not talking about going into pits. I don't think that anyone is thinking about it going into pits at all. They're gonna go with the tires worn out. They're gonna go with the transmission leaking, but it's gonna be a massive end of the season here in the Liga Portugal. The Eagles did not play, but they play tomorrow. They play tomorrow, so we're gonna talk about that for sure. Mr. Gomez, you still leading the competition? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Before he goes on, I gotta say this. I want to share this message.
I know he's gonna
with all of you guys. All right, share this on February 26th. Derek Gomez sent me a private message. It's not gonna be private anymore because I want to air it.
He's gonna make it
the entire
public.
planet now. On February 26th, Derek Gomez said, "We will finish in fourth place."
We could finish in fourth place.
And I said,
you know me, I get into panic
these
mode
days,
very easily.
February 26th, Sporting will repeat the championship. Mr. Gomez, you can go now. You got free. You can go now.
Yeah, it's been a very it hasn't been a very fun month. I mean, it comes down to, it really does come down to injuries. This has been a very extraordinary season when it comes to injuries. I can't remember this high number of injuries that Sporting's been plagued with. It's like they showed the camera. The camera was showing the players that were injured. Sort of in that VIP section of the Alvalade. It's like a starting lineup. That's sitting up in the bleachers. They're managing to somehow stay in the race. So I mean, I do think they deserve credit there. But you just get, especially over this last month, after watching the Aroca match and then the disappointing game at AVS, you just feel like they're just hanging on. They're just hanging on by a thread. These second halves, there's a tremendous drop in intensity. They're dropping their lines. They're inviting this pressure from any team that they play. So it's been a very testy month. We're still in it, and luckily, since we're out of Europe, this is I think the first time in a while that I can remember we get a full week of rest. Which is exactly what this team needs. This game again sort of followed almost like the same trend, where there was some positive things in the first half. This was a dangerous game. You're playing against a team that hadn't lost in 8 games. They've won 6 of those games, and they kind of showed me why. I think that this team this Estoril is not afraid to have the ball. It's very rare that you see a team not named Porto, Benfica, or Braga that can go into the Alvalade and outpossess Sporting. So I was pretty impressed with this reel and how they really did try to take it to Sporting. Flip side of the coin though is by playing high, they did leave some space at the back, and that's what gets Victor going. So Sporting, especially in that first half, was able to get vertical, able to get Victor involved. And it was great to see the old Victor back, where he scored twice, but he could have scored another 2 or 3 goals. He was very active, very involved. So that was good. But then again comes the second half.
Easily.
Yeah. Then the second half came. Sporting again. There was a drop in intensity. Estoril started peeking through with a couple of opportunities. They made it 2-1. They made it kind of testy. But Sporting did show grit, and they were able to win, and I feel that they totally deserve to win. But now we'll see. Now that Sporting is going to get some adequate rest, we can see Port is supposed to come back at the end of the month. Marita's close to come back. So we'll see what kind of impact these players have, and if they can continue to just grind these victories out. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. It's still watching Sporting is still very uneasy to watch, but we got to continue to believe and just take it week by week.
Absolutely. Now the Dragons, that they were winless for on the entire month of January, right? Coming out almost into February, and then finally managed the way to win 2 out of the last 3 and not losing. Of course, not losing. Yep. That's even better for the Dragons, but still not having that. You feel like Porto wins these games. With let's put it like a UFC fight, right? You're going into 5 rounds and they won by a Kimura. They won by a Kimura. They did not knock you down. They break your legs, break your arms, right? But still the rising of Fabio Vieira in the last month for the Dragons, coming up with 2 key goals, to just to put things at ease for a little bit, but at least going home with 3 points in 2 times out of the last 3 after not winning for like 6 weeks. It's just it creates definitely a significant impact in the Anselmi boys. Mauricio, how do you think about that?
I think Anselmi was the best thing that happened to Vieira. I was always thinking that whoever got him going, then that Porto team's going to get going, because he's just a good player. Coming from that academy, going to Arsenal, I think Anselmi will get him going. I just feel like defensively, they're not there yet. They're able to be had defensively, and I knew this game at Aroca was going to be a struggle. It got bad news right away. Mora got hurt. Harry Potter got hurt right in warm-ups, and that's a shame, because I wanted to see him play this game, because it's a good Aroca team over there in Aroca, and it's a shame. He's going to be out for a couple weeks now. But they need to feed Samu more. I feel like when he's more like almost like when you get him in stride, no defender wants to see that guy coming at you at full pace with the ball. And I feel like they need to feed him more instead of just giving him the crosses in the box and being like a standstill, almost like a Mario Jardel type forward. I feel like they need to get him more in and the runs on active like that. But Vieira was fantastic. It's a shame he picked up a late yellow card, because now he can't play that game against Braga next week. That's a huge yellow card now for them, because now they're going to be out with Vieira and Mora, and there's no creative in the midfield right now. All they have is Varela left in there. No, there's no one else. But the thing is with them is that if you got good wingers, I feel like defensively, I'm not a big fan of João Mario. I feel like defensively, he's not very solid. Offensively, he can give you a lot of things going up and crossing the ball and things like that. And Mora's very solid on the left side. I'm a big fan of Francisco Mora ever since he was with Famalicão. I'm just not very sold yet on their defenders. I feel like that's the one thing Anselmi, once he gets a good handle on his team, that he can start anew next season, is probably to get that defense straightened up.
Absolutely, man. And Mr. Benfica, you were watching these guys from the couch.
I didn't watch nothing.
Chilling. Hoping that,
I was totally zoned out of the league all weekend.
Chilling, hoping that this team was gonna come up with another couple of goals in there, maybe to ruin the party for the Lions. But the reality is that you got bigger problems to face, and that's coming tomorrow.
That has nothing to do with the Liga, though. Focus has got to stay on the Liga. It's about the Liga at this point. Listen, I'm happy we advanced in the Cup. We're in the semifinals. That was huge, getting past Braga. That's where my focus has been the last 7 days. Pavlidis continues to score, so I'm happy about that. I'm enjoying what he's doing. I mean, Benfica's boneheaded move of the year was not registering Bruma for the Champions League, because his suspension would be up after tomorrow. He still has 3 matches to serve, and because they didn't register him, it has to be served next season. So that's a really bad move on their part. And I mean, we could really use him. He's been one of the best players the last 3 weeks since he's joined. He really has picked up where Di Maria was. And actually, the team is playing better with Bruma instead of with Di Maria. Let's be honest right now. And it's because Bruma can do more. He can help more in transition. He can get back more. And, he doesn't need the ball as much as when Di Maria is on the field. It's the same thing as Cristiano Ronaldo with the national team. He's there, so everyone has to get him the ball. It's not even a directive. It's just a subconscious thing. You're on the field with him, and you're looking for him as soon as you have the ball. So some of that has been lost, and the team is much more fluid, playing a more synchronized style of play now, and people are moving in and out of spaces, and there's more movement, and even getting a little bit better performances from Artur Koglu, even though he's kind of moving around. He's playing on the right. He's not as comfortable there, but that's where we need him right now. There's some depth, even though there's injuries, which is good. There's substitutes that now can come in and make a difference. Belotti has come in and added some depth to the striker position. And I wasn't here last week to shout out Piero for that goal call when Belotti scored against Boavista. My Italian wife loved hearing the tarantella come out of his mouth for the goal. So.
The Red Lions.
That was nice, huh?
But it's great that right now it's great to have 2 options up front. And, the sooner the market's closed now in Brazil, so Arthur Cabral is not gone. But
No.
But no, it's been a good it's been the opposite as what Sporting's dealing with. It's been a very good month. February was very good to Benfica. And tomorrow, there's nothing to lose. There's no pressure going into face Barcelona at home. What happened last time was Benfica can't play as naive. They can't come out running all over the place and leaving themselves exposed the way they did in that game. They have to be a little bit more pragmatic, wait for the opportunities. Barcelona will give those opportunities. Barcelona plays a very high line. They will give the opportunities to counterattack. Yep. And let's just see where we are, at 30 minutes, at 60 minutes, at the end of 90 minutes, and assess what we do going forward from there. But my biggest concern is I want everyone getting through this healthy and ready for the weekend, ready for the next match in the Liga, because we got a race now to the finish, and it's anybody's race right now. So the team needs to get healthy.
All right. So before we go into more into depth into the other teams and everything else that's going on in the league, I saw this commentary on about the Peruvian teams, right? Because now Alianza Lima went to the first stage, they advanced to the second stage, they beat Boca Juniors in the second stage.
Mm-hmm.
And in the third stage, fighting for their lives to get into the group stage. So 3 rounds of qualifiers to get to the group stage of the Copa Libertadores. So, and this guy said, you know what? If Alianza doesn't beat the Deportes Iquique, which they beat tonight, it won't matter that they beat Boca Juniors in the previous round of qualifiers, because if you're not getting to a group stage, it won't matter what you did against Boca Juniors. It won't matter. And then lots of people came up on the feed saying this. I rather beat one of the Clásicos, win one of the Clásicos here in Peru than going into a group stage. So we could care less about going into the group stage after beating Boca Juniors. I'd rather beat Universitario, or rather beat one of the big dogs here in Peru than going into the next stage of the Copa Libertadores. What are your thoughts? All right, Mikey, you go first. You rather win a Clásico than going into advancing to the next round of the Champions League?
Unless we're going to the final, I'd rather win the Clásico. Absolutely. I want to win the league. First and foremost is the league. Okay. We're playing with house money now in the Champions League. We're at the round of 16. We're playing with house money. I mean, I don't know how many games these players have left in their legs this season, and advancing is 2 more, and and then you got an opponent. It could be Dortmund, it could be whoever they're playing, and who knows? I'm not looking past Barcelona. If it happens, great, it'll be historic, but there's no expectation in that right now, and there's 10 finals left in the Liga, and that's really where the focus needs to be right now.
Okay, Mr. Gomez, what do you think? Would you rather beat your opponents, or what do you have?
Yeah, listen. I mean, I love those seasons where we make a great European run. They're fun. It's just fun to watch the team. I just think that in the Champions League, it's virtually impossible for a Portuguese team to get to let alone get to the semifinals. Never mind, get to the finals. So it's like Mike said. You are playing with house money when you get to a knockout stage. Of a Champions League, and you've already surpassed. What you initially thought you were going to do. In this competition. It may, like in the Europa League,
that'd be different.
Might be a little different. Europa League is different. Europa League, I mean, I've seen fun runs. Heck, I was part of I remember Sporting playing the final at home. And it was a giant heartbreak, but like just that run to the final was so much fun. Then a few years later, when we went to the semifinals and we lost to Athletic Bilbao, on a last-minute goal at the San Mamed, those were fun. Those were fun runs, and those are memorable seasons. So, in the Europa League, I might answer the question differently, but in the Champions League, like I said, I just feel all bets are off, and I would much prefer, beating Benfica in that second game, the second game to the end there. Who knows? This is it's the second to last round this year that might decide the championship. So I much rather beat Benfica there than get to the next round of the Champions League. But going back to that year that Sporting did make that run to the final of the Europa League, it was the second to last game against Benfica where the championship decided. And again, that right there is a good example of Sporting making that deep run in Europe, making it to the final of the Europa League, expending a lot of resource, and that was probably the reason why they lost the championship that year. But I still think it was worth it because that was Sporting's second European final in their entire history. So I was actually okay with it there. Because I mean it's so historic, but in the Champions League, I'm looking at it, from a pragmatic, realistic approach. It's virtually impossible, to win this competition if you're not in those top 5 leagues. So I would sacrifice the Champions League for the championship. But in Europa League, and it looks like you might have a chance to get to the final. At that point, I would surrender the championship. That's my 2 cents on it.
I think if our teams were healthier, we may look a little differently on it too. But the fact that we're not healthy, and there's still a lot of games to go, and a long way to go in the Champions League. This isn't the semifinals. This is the round of 16. There's a long way to go.
There's a long way to go, and I know we love the new. We love the new format. For the Europa League and the Champions League. It's fun, but this has obviously contributed to what's going on with Sporting right now. There's zero doubt that this format, they were locked into 8 games and then 2 games. That's 10 extra games.
Yeah,
this has contributed to the plight that Sporting is going through right now. There's zero
So
doubt.
we're being worn out big time. Mauricio, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I agree with the guys. Like, I'd rather win that rival game, because let's say you win that knockout game financially. You winning that rival game, us guys have always said it. You win or lose the league by what you do against the other teams. You winning against your rival, that's even more of a bonus for you to go ahead and finish and win the league. And that money and that financial gain that you can get to win our league is so much more beneficial than just to go through another knockout round where, let's say Mikey does get through Barcelona. You still have PSG, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You're not going to get through
You
that.
just get,
Yeah.
you get,
I'd
you get
rather
Giants.
get the rival
Champions League.
I'd rather get the rival win, get the guaranteed money at the end, where I can clean up my team and everything and stay healthy and fight for the league. I just feel like that game, like Derek says, it's the second to last game. That might even come down to that game.
Yeah.
That's how important that is. And also, you winning, let's say we do win that game, you're going to win that at Estadio de Luz. Like, that's a big
And you're going to
deal.
win the league and guarantee next year's Champions League.
Exactly. Like,
there's no guarantee. You can go to the semifinals. You can lose the final of the Champions League. That doesn't put you in next year's Champions League.
Exactly. So. Like right now, Lima, you beat Boca Juniors. You get by this team. You go in the group phase. Let's say you finished dead last in the group. You did all that for nothing. Nothing. You're out.
Well, no. In this case, in the Copa Libertadores, if you get access to the knockouts, to the group stage, you got big money. You know, there's just, you get like $1 million just to get into the group stage. That money for in these leagues is ginormous, right?
Okay.
That might not be a lot in Europe, but here, if your team gets 5 million, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right.
So it was crazy, right? Because I posted a TikTok saying that if I were the coach, because Alianza played the Clásico this past Saturday against Sporting Cristal, and I said this: if I'm the coach, I will put the same alternative team that they put a couple of weeks ago, and he did it, and they won.
Mm-hmm.
People were trashing me. People were like, "No, you're not the coach. I'm so glad that you're not the coach." And this and that. They just like against the wall, all the bullets coming through. But I was so. I mean, it's so nice when you're right, man. When you come up right in the battle, man. It's funny. It's funny. All right, guys. So I just got in my chest. I wanted to ask you guys because I was like, really? Do you really know that? All right, I got it. All right.
I think if this were the Spanish league and we were talking about Real, Barcelona, and Atleti, we'd have different answers too.
Yeah.
It's the Portuguese league in Europe. You have to be realistic.
The money out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Such a differential.
Yeah, I mean, in our case too, you know, because we are. I mean,
it's similar.
Yeah, it's just like we haven't go through get out of the group stage since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
The last time that we get into the next round. But since then, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing but tons of losses.
Listen, that Mourinho Porto team was a lucky scratch off. That's, you know.
It was the last team to do it.
Yeah.
They got the right draw.
Outside the top 5 to do it.
Yeah.
They got through Man United and then had the right draw the rest of the way.
Right.
That crazy 2004 year, right?
Yep.
With Greece winning the
all the favorites are on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, all the favorites.
It was crazy.
Who was it? I mean, didn't they play Deportivo in the semifinals?
In the semifinals,
The
and Monaco in the
He was
final.
lucky. Then he got Monaco in the final. It was like,
when has that ever
on a
happened?
silver plate. Like,
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was brutal, but it was a fun year. It was a fun year. It was a fun year. All right, guys, back to the league. Back to the league. We just tried big time, but anyway, I got to ask you this. I gotta do it. But all right, back to Mr. Gomez. Mr. Gomez. All right, so the positives. What are the positive outcomes of this game? Give me three. Give me 3 positive outcomes of this game. Besides Victor Gyökeres being 100% healthy now.
Oh, sure. I mean, I was going to say that's number one.
Yeah.
I mean, getting Victor back on track is of the utmost importance. It's number one priority. It's getting him back on track. is he transforms the team
stronger again. Making the runs, making the difference.
He transforms the team. I think that another big positive. I was really surprised by how well DeBost played. I do think that he's starting to come into his own. He's again, obviously, I'd rather have Morton there. Morton's a more dynamic player.
Right.
Edi Massa also is a more dynamic player. So I think that it just seems like he's not as athletic as those other guys, but he's a technically gifted player.
Yes,
he's a very good long passer. Which was in the second goal. He was responsible for that. It was that through ball to Victor to score that second goal. Was a good example of that. So I think that's one of the big positives of this game, where you're starting to see him come into his own. You're starting to see him contribute to the team, and this is very good for a guy who's had a very up and down season. His confidence has been sort of wavering. Right. I mean, to have a game like this, I think was huge. Secondly, I love how Conrad came into the game. I thought Conrad, did give us that little boost, especially in that third goal, like going to ground, making that pass. That's the kind of guy he is. When he comes in with such hunger. Such an appetite for the game. He really, gets himself involved. And I think that you've seen this over the last couple of months, with Victor not playing, you finally got to take a good look at Conrad Harder. And he's showing to be a pretty sound investment. I mean, he's only 19. So I think that, him, this game was another example of a guy that can be a future, in the future, for Sporting, a pretty important player. So I think that was, another, positive that I was able to take away from the game. Another third, my final positive here is Diomande did not get a red card. That's the first time that's happened in a while. So I mean, I think he played the 90 minutes. He didn't get a red card, and again, I thought that he had another very dominant performance back there. He's super critical to Sporting these last 10 games. You need him on the pitch. You need him playing sort of that aggressive, dominant style of football, that we're used to seeing from Diomande, and hoping that he just keeps his cool, stays away from the stupid cards, the stupid mistakes. Hopefully that he's learned from these instances that's happened over the last month or so, and that that this is that he's going to mature from it, grow from it. And we need him. He's a massive contributor. I consider him the pillar of this defense. He's sort of taken up that mantle from Seba Coates. So hopefully these last 10 games he's on the pitch, he's playing Diomande football, and if we do win this title, he's gonna play a pretty big part in it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Talking about defenders, talking about defenses. Mauricio, you were concerned about the defense of Porto, and we're gonna point this out because it's insane how long ago this guy was injured, like more than a year. I think 17 months, right? Ivan Marcano. This the return of Marcano, September 23. That's when he got injured. September 23. That's when he got injured. Now he's getting back. I think he did pretty good. But the other decision from Anselmi, aside of putting Marcano on the pitch for the first time, Eustachio playing not playing on his natural position as a center mid. He played on top with Samu. I don't know why they did that. I mean, I know they don't have Rodrigo Mora, but it's not another player to put in there.
I'm surprised he didn't start Danny Namaso instead of Eustachio up top. I think he would have been the better guy to go with. I know he came into, I think he came in later into the game. But Borges is starting to grow with Anselmi as well. He's starting to become pretty good out there on the wing. He's starting to gain a lot more confidence. He's a younger guy, just like Mora. You're hoping them two can just grow together, build a connection with Samu, those three young guys, to really build the attack for them. Eustachio's more, he'll probably fall back more into the middle with Varela the next game with Braga, especially with Vieira and Mora out. I'm going to be interested to see how they line up defensively. It looks like Otavio and Jallo are always switching who he starts back and forth. I did like Marcano. Marcano came in for a guy who hasn't played in a long time. He looked pretty solid. He looked pretty good.
Yes,
and
sir.
to be honest with you, they could use that veteran presence there. Somebody just directing them on how to line up, what to do, and everything. So he looked pretty good for not playing for such a long time. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he starts again with Perez on the other side of him. It's just more, do you start Otavio? Do you start Jallo? Who do you trust more over there? It's like Zé Pedro is like the odd man out. He's more of a guy coming off the bench if you need like an extra defender or something like that. But listen, either way, they got a good win against Aroca. Aroca was playing some good soccer. They got a really good win. Diogo Costa was their best defender that game. He came up with some big saves that game against Aroca. But we'll see how they line up against Braga. That's going to be an interesting match. Braga's coming off that horrible defeat to Rio Ave.
I did see that game.
And now Roger being hurt right in the 20th minute. Oh, man. One guy for Braga not to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, Porto and Braga now just got what Benfica and Sporting are going through.
Oh, yeah.
It's the medicine of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to see how Benfica and Sporting have been dealing with it. Now they have to deal with it.
And I'm so mad that I was like, I was just this close. I honestly forgot the date. I think I got a circle on my calendar, but I forgot the date of the Braga versus Porto, because when I called that game with Frank Navarro facing Porto, and I'm not going to be calling that game. I'm not going to be on that game. No, I'm so mad.
Scored again.
So mad. So, my
boy, had a nice
Frank
goal
Navarro
against
playing
Rio
that
Ave,
game.
Scored a nice goal against Rio Ave.
Yeah, nice goal.
Jesus, man. I got the what do I have? I got the Benfica game, and I got the Sporting, and I got Famalicão Rio Ave. That's the game that I got on Monday. Yeah? That's crazy, man.
That's a decent game, though. Yeah.
That is a decent
game. Yeah. Absolutely. So, Mikey, so you're not worried about much about tomorrow. You just it is what it is. If we win, we win.
It's Barcelona. I mean,
he's trying to make you nervous.
No, it's Barcelona. How do you go in with any expectation? Just because it went well for 70 minutes before, and you saw how it still ended, even though they couldn't have played any better in those 70 minutes, and we still saw how it ended. So there's days where you just can't do anything about the other team. If that's one of those days tomorrow, it is what it is. If not, if the game allows Benfica to go for it and it allows opportunities for Benfica to close them down, we'll see what happens. I mean, just take it 1 15-minute grouping at a time and just break the game up and just keep seeing how it's going. Just keep making. It's what you do. You go into these games when you make mini games and you try to win each little segment of the game and keep it close and then see where you are at the end. But it's Barcelona. I mean, you can't. Sure. I'm sure once the game starts, yes, I'm going to be into it. I'm going to be excited for it, I'm sure. But the night before, of all the games I get nervous about, this is not one. There's no pressure at all on Benfica in this one.
And I think that's a good approach, man. And I don't know if the players are having that same approach as you are having now, man. But I think if they go with that mentality,
they're going to lose.
It's going to lose. They're going to put a lose. Yeah. So they're just going to go for it. Things flow better for them. And instead of thinking, how are we going to stop Rafinha? Looking for Jamal and Lewandowski,
And I think Benfica will be comfortable letting Barcelona possess. They showed that last time. And right now, Otamendi's playing really well, and he plays his best when he's further back, when he's playing deeper, and he's reading the game, and he's cutting off passes. I mean, we don't even have a right back. I mean, we've got a center back playing right back right now. It's you know,
I know.
there's only so much you can control in this match. So I think, I think if they're smart and they stay calm and take what the game gives to them, we'll see what happens in the end. And nothing's impossible. And Benfica's shown they can score goals on this team. So if they can score some goals and maybe be a little bit more, take better care of the ball, especially late in the game when it gets tense. It's going to be loose at first like it was last time. Like I said, there's no pressure at the beginning, but if you get a lead, suddenly there's pressure. So they have to be able to control that if it happens. That's a big if. Again,
Right.
Barcelona finished second in the league phase, so they're one of the favorites to win the competition.
Oh, heck yeah. And Hansi Flick really transformed this team big time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the on-hand games. This is the second time in the season that coming into the end of the first half, you were having that game on.
Yeah.
And now you're having it. Now you have
again.
Do you rather not have that game on hand on these last 10 games of the race, or
I don't know. I don't know. Both teams wanted the weekend off, so both Gil and Benfica wanted to postpone the game. So personally, I would have. I've already said what I feel about this Barcelona game. The Gil game would be more important to me, so I would have rather have played and gotten the 3 points. But if we had played, been tired, and not gotten the 3 points, I'd be sitting here saying, if I had found out we had a chance to postpone and didn't take it and then played the game and dropped points, it would, there's no way of knowing ahead of time what the right decision would be. It's going to be not until March 28th, I think, that the match is made up, the 28th. So it's going to be playing with the game in hand for a couple of weeks, but Benfica really need to just focus on Benfica's games and not on watching the scoreboard, not getting caught up in what Sporting or Porto or Braga are doing, because once you start doing that, you're not focused on what you need to do. And right now it's all in Benfica's control and Sporting as well. Both teams control their destiny. Both teams don't need help at this point. They can do it on the field of themselves. So they need to really, it goes for both teams to just focus on the opponent that's in front of them and get the 3 points and move on to the next one.
Hey guys, I was doing the what game I was calling? I was calling the Sporting game, right? And I'm doing it on my live on TikTok, and I screenshot this because I got these comments that are just they're so good, because Mike is worried about not having a right back, and here my boy Nick Joey says guys should pick and start every game.
You said Nick Jovi. You said it all right there. He's got the good points.
and then Nick says this one goes for Derek, and I want we want to discuss about this because this is real. This is not just all right, this is real. All right, classic second half led by Rui Borges. No killer instinct, letting teams back in it. Let's talk about that, Derek. Tell me about that. What's happening with Sporting in the second half, man?
Yeah,
why would the team lose the killer instinct?
I mean, going back to what I said at the beginning of the show, I really do think that the number one reason for this happening, and why there's this drop in intensity, is because of the injuries. I mean, that's just how I feel. There are guys on the pitch right now who wouldn't even be on Boavista's bench. When you're playing Alexandre Brito in the starting 11, when you're playing Edu Felicimo in the starting 11,
Felicimo.
When you have Ricardo Gaio in your starting 11. It's obviously there are some weak links on the pitch. I mean, De Bost has been filling in admirably, but he's not a midfielder. They had to adapt. They had to make that sort of that adaptation because, I mean, all the midfielders are out. So I do think that this, because it's a 90 game, it's a 90-minute game. As the game wears on, you do start these weak links, these deficiencies do come to the forefront. So I do think that is that's the number one reason for why you're seeing these poor second halves. Secondly, I mean, again, we can justify the injuries, but the flip side of the coin here is that this has happened, game after game. So what is Rui Borges doing to address this? So I mean, it doesn't appear, if he is doing something to address this, it doesn't appear to be working. That's another thing, to look at, why is Sporting dropping as much as they do? What are we telling these players at halftime? Why aren't we keeping the foot on the gas? So that's a question, for coaching, and what we're doing. But again, I want to go into a diatribe, but I think that, the number one, reason for this has to do with Varandas, and it has to do with the administration. This isn't a secret. I mean, we have been struggling with injuries for a while now. For me, this has been a lost season for Port. It is what it is. Even when he comes back, this guy's been gone for over 4 months. He's not going to come back like a bat out of hell. Morita has spent more time hurt than on the pitch.
I think Port's the biggest loss.
But Gus is another one. We went and we loaned out Isugo at the beginning of the season. I wish we would have that one back. Mateus Fernandes we sold. When I think he was poised to have a breakout season for Sporting. So these are issues that are coming from the first half. We had a January window.
Nothing.
What did we do? We brought in Biel. Does Biel play? No. We had our sporting director, Hugo Viana, in October, signs with Manchester City. So from that point on, Sporting in his mind took a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me that he was totally invested in this January window?
No.
Was Sporting, as a matter of fact, as soon as the window expired, he told Varandas, I'm out of here. He's already gone. He's already in Manchester.
Yeah.
So he invested essentially nothing in the January window. Varandas just gave an interview about a week ago, and he's talking about, there's no money. You have to make it happen. You have to make this happen. You have to find a way. Sporting won the title last year, and they had a golden opportunity to, win back-to-back titles for the first time since the 1950s. This isn't like Sporting wins back-to-back titles, every 5 years. This hasn't happened in 70 years. This is a golden opportunity. Benfica has not been super sharp this season.
No.
Look at the difficulties Porto has gone through and are still going through. Braga is highly inconsistent. This was a golden opportunity.
This was the year for Braga. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to. Sporting's probably not going to see another chance like this for another 70 years. And what did we do? We just sat on our hands and did nothing over this January transfer window.
Knowing Benfica, that you had a race.
Benfica, for what we want to say, I know Benfica. We talked about how they don't have established right back as an alternative. But Benfica Benfica invested. They
had a good January window, yes.
Yeah.
They went and they got Bruma, they got Belotti. They increased the depth of their team. I already thought they were a deep team, and now they're even deeper. And again, I want to draw a comparison to Sporting and Boa Vista. And Boa Vista's had a tumultuous season. Boa Vista is staring at an abyss. Boa Vista is staring at the second division. But I'll give Boa Vista credit because Boa Vista went all out. They're doing all that they possibly can to try to stay in. Yeah. They went and got 10 free agents. They don't have any money.
They should have asked us to play.
To make it happen. But they went and got all these. They are doing all that they possibly can. They're throwing everything and the kitchen sink to try to stay in the first division.
And they won the first game after 4 months.
Sporting.
Yeah,
they won the first game, brother.
Against Santa Clara.
Against Santa Clara ball team.
And they finally won a game. They finally something's come to fruition. They're throwing everything and the kitchen sink to try to stay in this first division. I give them credit. They're going all out. Can I say that Sporting went all out trying to win the back-to-back title for the first time in 70 years? No, they didn't. So I've said my piece, and that's it. I wanted to get that off my chest because it's bothering the hell out of me.
Amen.
All right. But, even though with all the complaints from Mr. Gomes, I still believe that they're gonna win it. I still believe that, and I've been saying this since day one. I'm not just saying it now. You know me, but as long as they keep winning in the most uncanny ways, right? The least convincing ways. But if Victor Gyökeres keeps scoring and he's gonna keep opening these doors, he's gonna keep opening these opportunities for this team and these last 10 laps of the competition. And Benfica is coming after right there because Pavlidis is producing what he was not producing in the first half of the season. And now they have that differential too, this adding power to Benfica. So now the margin for error in Sporting, it goes like inches.
It's razor thin. Yeah, it's razor thin.
I wouldn't say inches. I would say 1 inch. That's the margin.
I would say centimeter.
What's Jesus? Half of that crap. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Back to the Dragons. Mr. Ruano. You said that that Martin Anselmi is the best thing that can happen for Porto. I agree on that term. And besides putting a switch into a back three instead of a back four, what else did you see in this Porto side since Anselmi arrived, and why they start winning again?
They're just they're more active. They're now more pressure on the ball. They're playing just with more energy. They let more with Vitor, Bruno. They sat back a lot. It's like they waited for the game to come to them, the counterattack game that they tried to do. I just felt like with Anselmi, he's 100% foot on the gas. Let's go. When you get the ball, I want us going. I want us flying. Let's go. And he was like that with Cruz Azul. When they get the ball, it's attack full speed, 100%. Don't worry about the counterattack. Let them worry about us attacking them. And that's just Anselmi's way of playing the game. He's not worried about defensively. He knows his guys will just run back and they'll cover. But when he gets the ball, he wants his guys going, and he wants them going fast. And I think once he gets more of his type of players on Porto, you'll see his system come more into life. He plays a little bit similar like Ruben, but just more at a quicker pace. Ruben was more tactical with Sporting, with his wingers and their wing backs and everything. And Selmi's just more full pace. Let's go. He wants guys in the box. He
creates chaos.
Yes, he wants chaos all the time.
Yeah.
He wants more guys than defenders all the time when he gets the ball. That's what he wants. So I think once he gets a more quality players that come in that he wants, just like how he did at Cruz Azul, he spent what, Mikey, like almost 50 mil, 60 mil.
60. I think he spent 60 this offseason.
Yeah, so cool. I know Porto's a little bit strong with the money, but listen, he's got guys.
I think Nino froze.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I'm here. Now I'm just thinking about that. But I said that when the transfer window comes in, watch when Martin Anselmi is going shopping. When he's gonna go shopping, he already knows who's
but
out.
Who's he gonna sell is the question. He has to sell somebody in order to do that.
Yeah. I think he'll probably try to sell
something Porto has struggled with.
I think he'll try to sell someone like Varela, that's the thing with Varela. He had a lot of people looking at him early.
Yeah.
And then Vitor started sitting him down for Eustáquio, and he lost a little bit of value because you had teams like in the Premier League and stuff looking at him, and then it died off a little bit once Eustáquio took his spot.
He's having an underwhelming season.
Yeah, exactly. So the only problem is their big bank guy, Samu, but the thing is, they only have a certain percentage of those rights.
Yeah. So they're not going to cash in like they'd want.
They're not going. No, and what the only
I don't think they can afford
that they got
they
is
can't.
Diego Costa. You're hoping a team takes
that
a
might
goalie and invest like 40 mil in him or something like that.
That's what he's going to need.
Yeah,
a move like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You guys, I was just looking ahead on the schedule, and I just realized this, right? That March is gonna be the banking month for all three, for the big three, because they're not gonna play against each other. And in
Right.
April is gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
April is gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
Last
It's gonna
5
be
6 games, you got
Yeah.
I mean,
the back
it's
end of the
crazy.
schedule is loaded.
Yeah.
You know,
And
in April you got
and
the
the toss is a two-legged tie.
It's 2 legs. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go.
Ooh,
We're gonna have to go to
two.
Villa de Koons.
It's 2 legs in the semifinals.
Yeah, so Sporting's on their way to Villa de Koons. So
Yeah.
So the mantra, the motto, the whatever you want to call it for the big three on this March Madness, it's going to be you win every single game in March.
You have to win every game.
Every single game. Whoever drops a single point in March is done.
It's a bad time to drop a point. Absolutely.
Right now, yeah.
Okay,
Mikey, is your Dawson game going to be at a neutral site?
you know you're going to drop points in April.
I don't know
so
yet. I hope not.
I feel like with that team, it's going to have to be at a neutral site, like at a somewhere, you know.
I mean, we've seen teams pull it together for these big games and money come in to get the stadiums up to. But it's one of the real downsides of Portuguese football is when these teams advance and then all of a sudden their stadium's no good. And the game gets moved away to a neutral site and it's just a home game for the big game at that point. And I hope it's played at Tucson, but we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Second to last team in the fourth division.
Play too.
Yeah.
I used to hate going up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
To where Mikey? What's
the fourth division?
Yeah, Sentiers, man. That used to be Sentiers. That used to be a tough place to go.
They're actually in position to be relegated out of the fourth division, but they're in the semifinals.
They're in the semifinals.
Finals, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Just catch the lucky breaks.
Let's talk about the FA Cup. Did those guys that were in the fifth division still on? No, I don't think so, right?
I mean, it's the game of their lives. Well, it's 2 games, which makes me feel better about it. But I mean, I wanted to play the other fourth division team, Elvish, but because they look like Boca Juniors and they call their stadium the Bombonera of Alentejo, and that would have been really, really cool to go play them there for a leg, but they didn't win. So it was 2 fourth division teams playing in the quarterfinal.
Unreal. Now, you know what's going to happen here in Peru? Talking about the stadiums, right? There's these teams, 4 boys that they have an issue with the stadium now, so they're not playing on Universitario, which is the bigger club in the tournament, the biggest in the tournament. They're playing at the Nacional Stadium, which is the biggest stadium, not the biggest one, but one of the top stadiums in the country. But they're really having so many concerts at the stadium, and you know what happens? That concerts, right?
Yeah,
the pitch gets trashed.
Yeah.
So guess what? They want to suspend this round because of that stadium not being usable. Dude, why you not suspend the entire round just for one stadium?
Yeah.
But that's how things work here in Peru. I'm so mad. But anyway, talking about the 4 division teams and stuff like that. All right, guys, let's go, Mikey, for the predictions. Let's go for the predictions.
Let's pull them up. Yeah, all right. Friday, March 7th. Estrela Amadora, Gil Vicente to start it off.
We know who Nino's taking.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Nino.
Yeah.
I'll say 2-0 to Gil Vicente. They're well rested at this point.
Yes, 2-1. I said 2-1, Gil Vicente. Derek?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Gil Vicente, but someone needs to explain why they fired Bruno Pinheiro.
Dude.
Same reason Moreira fired Cesar Peixoto.
That made no sense either. I don't get it anymore. I thought they were doing okay. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know what do these guys expect for these teams?
I don't know what's expected out of these
finish guys. Third place. Like what are they expecting? I don't get it.
Especially Peixoto and Moreira. Like I don't get it.
That made no sense.
That made no sense. Those are like 2 firings that made no sense.
Anyway, Mauricio, what do you got on that one, Gil Vicente?
I'm gonna go 1-0 Gil Vicente since Peixoto's first game for Gil Vicente.
Speaking of,
everyone is rooting for the Gilistas. That is awesome.
It's like musical chairs for credit.
Yeah.
all right.
What's next, Mikey?
Saturday, AVS versus Aroca.
Aroca.
It has to be
3-1. 3-1 Aroca.
I'll say 2-1 Aroca.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 1-1. AVS.
1-1. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's up
Mauricio?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Aroca.
All right, Mikey. What's next?
Benfica Nacional at the Luge.
No fog here. Nobody.
No fog.
Yeah, no fault, please.
Yeah, Nacional can't hide.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be a big win. I think it's gonna be 4-1. 4-1 Benfica.
I'll say
4-1.
3-1 Benfica.
Gomez?
I'm gonna go 3-0 Benfica.
3-0. All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Mauricio?
I'm gonna go with Derek. I think it's gonna be 3-0 Benfica.
3-0. All right. Lots of goals. I'm not gonna be calling that game, so better be lots of goals. All right. What's next?
Estoril Farense.
Oh. 2-2 on that one.
Wherever
2-2.
Rui is, I know who he's picking.
Is it Estoril Farense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take
What you
the
got,
Estoril
Derek?
on this one. I'll take the Estoril.
Mr. Yeah. How much?
3-1.
3-1. Gomez?
I'm going to take Estoril 2-1. And I'm also very impressed with that. The coach is Scottish, but he speaks brilliant
His Portuguese is brilliant.
I love this
Post-game,
guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
His post game
Like
was great.
brilliant Portuguese, man.
Yes.
I love
Really?
this. Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen somebody British speak Portuguese that well.
No. You remember Bobby Robson speaking Portuguese?
Oh, it was
In the
hilarious.
90s.
Yeah.
Rápido, veloz, equipo, forte, rápido.
First part, Porto muito bom.
Yeah.
Second part, Fernando Couto.
He was so great.
Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking
So what you
of,
gonna do?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Estoril.
All right. Mike, what's next?
the big one, Braga Porto, Saturday night at the Quarry.
It's it's in Braga? Braga, right?
Yeah.
Braga? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
At the-
is.
I'm sorry,
That's
Porto. 2-1 Braga.
Wow.
2-1
Ooh.
Braga.
Ooh.
2-1 Braga on that one. It's I mean, I'm so mad that I'm not having this game because I'm telling you, Fran
That's the big one.
Navarro is gonna make him pay. He's gonna make him pay.
Is he
big time,
definitely
man.
going to play? He's on loan from Porto.
I don't think he can, right?
I don't
Oh,
know.
shoot.
That, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize he was on loan
He's
when he
on-
first went.
He's on loan. It's a loan.
with an option
He's-
to buy.
oh, he might
Yeah.
not play.
Might not play. Yeah.
Crap. If he doesn't play, Porto 2-1. If he plays, it's Braga 2-1.
Braga 2-1.
Right.
I'll go
right.
1-1 here. I think Braga's going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think it's gonna be 1-1. I've watched some of these Porto matches, and they're not really like impressing.
Mhm.
I think this is gonna be 1-1.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Mauricio?
I actually think it's going to be an open game. I think it's going to be 2-2.
Okay. All right. I like it. Mikey, what's next?
All right, let's go to Sunday. Santa Clara versus Moreirense in the Islands.
Oh, okay.
The Islands, I take the Islanders.
They're going to be mad after losing to Boavista.
It's a 3-1 Santa Clara.
I'll say 2-0 Santa Clara.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 2-1 Santa Clara.
Mauricio?
They're playing who? Moreirense?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Moreirense. I'm going to go 1-0 Moreirense.
Okay.
Wow, that
I
would be
think
unusual.
Boavista took their soul.
Yeah, maybe. And Vasco Minch is going to be regretting turning down Botafogo if that's the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's next, Mikey?
Casa Pia
Sunday
Sporting.
or Monday?
Casa
Casa
Pia
Pia.
Sporting is next.
That's going to be a rough one.
No. Only good thing is that it seems like Casa Pia is on the downward trend.
Yeah.
And they lost Nuno Moreira.
They were hot for a while, but
Mhm.
they're starting to.
Yeah.
Ever since losing to Santa Clara, I've noticed that they've been.
And now they missed their best player, the Botafogo. Or no, not the Botafogo,
Yeah.
Vasco.
Vasco.
Yeah. Nuno Moreira.
If I'm gonna go 2-1.
Yeah.
Sporting.
I
2-1
see.
Sporting.
2-1 Sporting, probably a late winner.
It's gonna be
Stressful 2-1. Sorry, Derek.
It's going to be stressful. I'm
Stressful
ready for
2-1.
it.
Yeah.
I
But it
agree
will
with
be
you guys.
Sporting in the
Yeah.
end.
I do think it's going to be 2-1. That's the number that's popped in my head. Yeah.
Mauricio.
No, I'm thinking the same thing. For some reason, Sporting can't keep a clean sheet. I think it's going to be a tight 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, I was gonna go 1-0, but I was like, it's gonna be a goal. It's gonna be a goal from Giuseppe.
It depends
So,
who's doing the
2-1.
VAR that game. We'll go 2-1.
Mike, what's next?
Boavista versus Vitória. Late one. 9:30 kickoff.
Ooh,
Dang.
that is
Late
late.
one.
1-1. 1-1. Panthers. Come on, Panthers. Come on, Panthers. Yeah, I'm telling you, brother.
I got the Conquistadores, the Kings. It's gonna be 2-1 Vitória.
2-1 Vitória. Gomez.
Nino, I'm with you, man. 1-1.
Come on, Panthers.
I'm like,
I saw the statement
effort.
from Salvador Agra, man. I almost cried, brother, after read what he said.
Lito did cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
saw
cried on the
that.
pitch after they won. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there's some forces that they're helping Boavista one more season, brother.
The loan sharks, they owe all the money to.
Yeah. Marisa, what you got?
I actually think it's going to be a tight one. I think Guimarães 1-0.
Or nothing. Mikey, you got one? You say one?
Last one, Monday night, your game. Famalicão and Rio Ave.
I think. Man, I see my. 2-0 Fama.
I'll take Rio Ave 2-1 again, just like this past weekend.
All right.
I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2. All right. And please, before Mauricio says his pick, is the last pick of the night. Everyone say hi to my mom. She says my
Hello.
mom at this.
Hello,
Hello.
Hola.
Hi.
Mauricio, what you got? What's your pick?
I'm going to go 2-1 late goal from Famalicão Aranda.
Ooh, Aranda, nice. Osquita Aranda, nice. I like that guy, man. I like it, man. All right, guys, that was it for tonight. I want to wish the best of the best for tomorrow to the Benfiquistas.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come up strong. And hopefully, why not, brother? Why not? Sky's the limit.
Yeah, don't
We'll
lose
see.
too bad.
Yeah,
You
of
can
course.
play the second leg.
It's not. That's
Yeah,
not
right.
impossible.
A good strategy might be to just get it out of the way now.
No, good strategy. 2-0, so you can play both legs. Go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get extra time.
Barcelona concedes.
Yeah, Mike.
That's the one thing about this team.
They will
concede
concede
a lot
yeah.
of goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
In the
tie
league,
with
they
goals wouldn't
concede
shock
a
me.
lot.
It's open. It's why,
Yeah, it's
why,
open,
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
The best of the best for Benfica tomorrow, and for us, guys.
Mhm.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Mauricio Rano. Thank you, Mr. Benfica. I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next
All right.
Tuesday, guys.
See you
All right,
next
see
week,
you
guys.
guys.
All right, later, guys.
Later.